Hello, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the flights in the world. This is Viperstrike 95. I hope you're all doing well. And today we're back with another around the world trip, day number 52. So guys, I hope you're all doing well. And today we have a very scenic flight. I know Sunday's flight was a rather scenic flight featuring the Grand Canyon, Sedona, and Las Vegas. And that was an absolutely gorgeous trip. But I feel like if it had to be any trip, I think we might have an even more exciting trip this time around. So I hope you guys are having a great week. And yeah, it's the weekend. So make sure you guys enjoy yourselves for this weekend. So, that brings us to the stream. So today we got a very exciting trip, and today's trip will be flying over the Big 5 national parks in southern Utah today. We'll be checking out Zion, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches National Parks all within a day. I mean, this is insanely exciting, guys. So let's go over our flight plan pretty shortly. But before we get started, I do want to say hello to the chat, have our lurkers, and we have my moderator, Super Typhon. Good to have you here too. So let's go over this flight plans, shall we? So let's pull up over here. So we got a pretty exciting little flight plan coming here for you. So we'll take off here from Las Vegas, Nevada. From Las Vegas, we'll be flying we'll be having a brief flyover of the Valley of Fire State Park here in Nevada. Then from there, we'll head to our first stop here in St. George Regional in Utah. From there, from St. George's, we'll make our way over to Zion National Park. We'll fly over the national park and explore the park. We'll be able to fly over and explore Zion National Park for a bit, fly over some of the notable areas of the park. Then we'll fly over to Bryce Canyon National Park and check out Bryce Canyon, one of the really cool, unique national parks in the country. And then from there we'll fly over Grand Staircase, National Monument, and make our way over to Capitol Reef National Park. Probably the most forgotten of the 5 national parks in southern Utah. But we're gonna fly over Capitol Reef. Then we'll stop at Farron Airport, get some fuel, and prepare for the last leg over to Canyonlands National Park, which is one of the coolest national parks in the country. And finally, we'll fly over the town of Moab, and then go visit Arches National Park. We'll be checking out each of the national parks here in southern Utah. So that is what we're going to do here today. But yeah, some amazing scenic national parks, some gorgeous. And I know Sundays was stunning, but I think this might be even better. So we're taking the Piper Turbo Arrow out for a spin today. Wanted to take something a little quick, but yet when we need to, we can slow down easily to check out those national parks. So the Turbo Arrow would be perfect, and of course, get the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada. So let's go ahead and get our Turbo Arrow started. So obviously this is being dark. Battery on, alternator on. Still good. We're gonna get rid of the chocks and turn on the lights. And she's on. I think it will. I figured it would. There we go. So we're getting ready to get going. We'll taxi out to runway 19 right. If you guys want to join on in, we're in the Southeast Asia Sir. Estimation point info. We'll give you the information for today's flight. Here you go. And we'll be heading out to our first stop here in St. George's. Our heading is going to be 42. Just our heading. Oh. That's the taxiway. And our cruise altitude for leg number 1 of this trip is going to, for the total altitude, the highest point will be 11,500 feet. Our first leg, we're going to climb up to 8,000 feet. So we'll climb up to 8,000 and make our way over. So let's go ahead and get ready for that. This is the turbo aero, so this should be significantly faster than the normal aero. So. Yeah, I wanted to do some nighttime flying here today. So I wanted to. The reason I set it to this time at 5 a.m. is so when we get to Zion National Park, it would be sunrise. Absolutely. So, what a stunning view, guys, over Las Vegas. Just an incredible view. say goodbye to Las Vegas, Nevada. As we leave the Sin City, head our way over to our first stop here. We're gonna head to St. George. St. George stop. So yeah, guys, I hope you all are enjoying your week so far. I mean, we have quite a bit of things to go for this week. My plans for this weekend would be mainly do some more Firefly Air flying. I did download a really cool new program called a random flight generator by Simbit World for free. It's and they do a lot of real world stuff, so I've been using that to get some more information. So I'm gonna wait till this thing hits 8,000 feet, and then we can get the op. So down to our left, this is Nellis Air Force Base. There's Nellis. So this is a very big air base here at Nellis. They do a lot of fire pilot training. So yeah, the first leg is going to be 98 nautical miles. Here we are, 8,000 feet. That's where we're right now. We're keeping that red light on. So we're going to head up to the Valley of Fire State Park first. Reduce mixture. Reduce mixture a little bit. We're going to be, we're going to cruise around 100 in, around 160 knots, per take. So our first stop is going to be the Valley of Fire State Park, which would be our first waypoint here for today's stream. This state park here in Nevada is located 16 miles south of Overton, Nevada. It derives its unique name from its red sandstone formation, the Aztec sandstone. It gives its unique color. It's formed over 150 million years ago. These features, the centerpiece of the parks, often appear to be fire when reflecting the sun's rays. It's actually the oldest state park in all of Nevada, dating back to 1935. It's a national landmark in 1968. A lot in this region has a rich history with prehistoric inhabitants, including the ancestral Pueblans, known as the Anasazi, which were around between 300 BC to 1150 AD. And they often you can still find ancient rock art in all across the park. But this park can get quite hot, especially during the summertime. And it's and some of the activities here at the state park include picnicking, camping, and hiking, as well as petroglyphs as well. And mobile films have been featured here, and automobile commercials, including the 1963 film featuring Elvis, Viva Las Vegas, as well as the 1966 film The Professionals, and scenes of the planet Meridian 3 from Star Trek Generations was filmed here in 1994. And in fact, during that film is where James Kirk died and buried at, right around the Celica Dome. But it's a really cool little state park here in Nevada. So we'll be flying over it very short. Just a little. Just a little. Look at the gorgeous sunrise here. There's the glinty lights of Vegas left behind. Now we get to check out the scenery here in Nevada. Just gorgeous. So yeah, guys, I hope you're all having a great week today. I hope you all have some really cool plans for this weekend. So here's a couple of bit of news. I do want to cover briefly. Fly to High released their newest airport, Brownsville South Padre Airport, all the way down in Texas. It's located in southern Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley region. Kilo Bravo Romeo Oscar, featuring handmade ground textures, accurate model, dynamic airport lighting, highly detailed models, buildings, and good optimization for FPS. Costs $16.53, which is to be expected, but looks pretty nice. And it's good to see another fellow airport in Texas get some coverage. And finally, the last bit of news I do want to cover briefly is going to be iFlight shows off their 737 MAX 8, which looks really good. However, the bad news for your Xbox pilots, you're going to have to wait a bit. Because it's going to be initially released for PC only, which I feel for you guys, but it will come. They'll just have to focus on PC first, which is understandable. Also, Top Box Series releases their B2 Spirit for the sim. Flying Iron has previewed their Focke-Wulf F190. Pretty cool. So, I think pretty cool stuff. Bot. Why do there's so many bots nowadays? Why does there have to be bots? Look at the gorgeous sunrise, guys. Just stuff. I'm gonna turn off the red center light. I don't really need it now. Got some great scenery here today. I know later today, Murph's gonna be on later today on his channel, Tuto Murphy. Give a shout out for Murph's channel. But Murph's gonna be back on later today. He'll be doing some flying in the South Island of New Zealand, which is absolutely gorgeous. We hope to visit there soon as we could do on this trip. This area around Utah, Nevada, is absolutely gorgeous. Desert scenery here. So after we fly through Valley Fire State Park, we'll talk a little bit about Zion National Park, which, yeah, thank you, Typhon. But yeah, definitely check out Murph's channel. Murph's a long-time close friend of the channel. The first guy I've ever got to do the flight sim community with back in 2021. He got me into this whole streaming thing to begin with. Honestly, I haven't looked back ever since, so very grateful for that. We're about to approach the Valley of Fire State Park, as well. So also, Allison's going to be on tomorrow on her stream, another legend of the community. She's currently doing the Birded Biplane Farnborough to Sydney flight. She'll be flying from Hua Hin, Thailand to Butterworth, Malaysia. 454 nautical mile trip. Definitely check out her channel too. It's going to be a lot. So, very, very exciting. Be bringing you guys here for sure. So here it is, guys. The Valley of Fire State Park is dead ahead of us. It's Valley of Fire. But man, this area is just gorgeous. I think today's going to be a very stunning day. I don't know if it's going to be better than the one on Sunday, though. Which I know you guys. Yeah, I'm very excited for the next 2 days. Today and Sunday is going to be some gorgeous flying. You guys are going to be a huge fan. Here's, guys, the Valley of Fire State Park is right down here. This is the Valley of Fire State Park. There are tons of really cool landmarks here in this, and as a result, there are tons of really great hiking trails all across the state. That's one of the nice things about the Las Vegas area is there's just so much to do in and around the Vegas area. Between Red Rock Canyon, Hoover Dam, Valley of Fire State Park, Grand Canyon, all the casinos. Yeah, that's why I'm glad the Las Vegas area got to be our hub. We could do so much. Just gorgeous scenery. Look at this. Look at that with the sun rays. Just look at that guy. Look at the state of the scenery down here, guys. Just unbelievably gorgeous here. That's just incredible. Look at the way the sunlight hits the fire of the sun. That is just. So let's go ahead and talk about Zion National Park. The reason I wanted to talk about Zion now is because Zion and Bryce Canyon are not far from each other in terms of parks. So I want to go ahead and talk about Zion right now. So if you guys aren't aware of Zion National Park, it is one of the most beautiful natural parks in the country. We flew over it a while back last year. This national park is well known for its geography, variety of light zones, making it extremely diverse for biological diversity. It's home to numerous plant species, as well as over 280 species of birds, 75 mammal species, and 32 reptile species. 4 different life zones. It also features mountains, canyons, buttes, mesas, monoliths, rivers, and natural arches. People have inhabited this area since 8,000 years ago, with small groups of Native Americans, most well known being the ancestral Pueblos, or known as the Anasazi, and other groups. But the reason Zion National Park got its name was because of the Mormons. The Mormons actually came around this area in 1858 and settled here, and it was renamed Zion National Park. But one of the really cool things about this national park, though, is its geography. You see, its geography is located in the it's geomorphically, it's actually located on both the Markagunt and Kola plateaus at the intersection of 3 different geographic provinces: the Colorado Plateau, the Great Basin, and the Mojave Desert. As a result, it helps form the area's unique geography. The highest point in the park is the 700-foot summit of Horse Ranch Mountain, the highest point of the park, while the lowest point is the 3,600-foot Coal Pits Wash, the lowest point. There's also lots of streams forming rectangular paths because they fall off the rocks. And the road to Zion Canyon is around 6 miles long, which is named and ending at the Temple of Sinawaba, named for the coyote god of the Paiute Indians. And as a result, this area is well known for a lot of hiking stuff. Other geographical features in this park include Angel's Landing, which is a tall rock formation, the Great White Throne, Court of the Patriarchs, the Citadel, the West Temple, Towers of the Virgin, the Altar of Sacrifice, the Watchman, Weeping Rock, and Emerald Pools. They make up for a lot of the unique natural landmarks of Zion National Park. What's funny is that Zion National Park is actually quite unpredictable. In spring, it's not common for stormy, wet days to be around, despite being in desert conditions. Whereas summer days can get quite hot, but the lows are comfortable, and during the fall season, um, winters in Zion are quite mild. So it's a pretty cool, unique thing. The area has a lot of rich history, with humans first being here 8,000 years ago as well. And eventually, so the first Europeans to come and explore this area was in southern Utah in the late 18th century by Padre Francisco Atienzo Dominguez and Padre Silvestre Velez de Escalante, become the first Europeans to enter the area. But it was really the Mormons when they came here during the 1840s, 1850s, settled in this. But this area didn't become a national park until 1919 by U.S. Congress, mainly at the has been around for over a decade. Before the rise of automobiles and stuff, transportation was kind of rare, but nowadays people can now reach it with touring cars as well as improved infrastructure. In fact, Zion Park is so well known, it's featured multiple films, including the movies Arizona Bound, directed by John Waters, starring Gary Cooper, the 1927 silent western Nevada, and most famously of the 1969 film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, starring Paul Newman, were filmed here in Zion National Park. It was also featured in the 2011 game Fallout New Vegas as one of the DLCs, Honest Hearts, which was a very popular DLC and stuff. So in terms of geology, the 9 known geological formations of the park were part of a super sequence of rocks units called the Grand Staircase, and these represent about 150 million years of mostly Mesozoic age sediment in North America. Uplift affected the entire regions, but mainly the Colorado Plateau, caused a lot of these rocks to be moved up a lot more. There's all sorts of different rock formations across it. Some of the rocks in the formations, such as the Dakota, are made of conglomerate and sandstone, while others are made with shale and loose clay, like the Channel Formation, and the Kaibab is actually pure limestone, creating some really unique geological. In addition to this, in terms of biology, because of the area's unique biology and such, and the unique landscapes from it, be surprised, but Zion National Park actually has a lot of surprising amount of biodiversity. Of course, as a result, they provide an unusually high amount of habitats for all sorts of plants and animals. For example, in the canyon bottoms is desert conditions, home to all sorts of plants, including the sagebrush, as well as the prickly pear cactus, yes, cacti, and the rabbit bush, which is very well known for its bright white or yellow flowers. In addition, they're also home to the sacred datura and Indian paintbrush flowers. Now, during the daytime, you can find animals such as the mule deer, rock squirrel, Indian jays, collared lizards, jackrabbits, and more. And then some of the predators you can find include cougars, bobcats, coyotes, badgers, gray foxes, and green-tailed cats. To be found in the park. During the mid-elevation slope, you can find forests of pinyon pine and juniper, as well as manzanita shrubs, scrub oak, and yucca. And of course, you can also see several bird species, most notably the golden eagle, which is the most widely distributed eagle species. Red-tailed hawks, peregrine falcons, and white-throated swifts can be found in the area as well. Also, the desert bighorn sheep were reintroduced in the park in 1973, and the California condor can be found here too. But there's tons of really unique animal species that live all across Zion National Park. It's pretty crazy to see all these different species live across the area. Oh yeah, and funny thing about the cactus too. So if you guys aren't aware about the prickly pear cactus, you can actually eat this. Um, it's actually got a wide variety of usages. And yes, they are edible. In fact, you can actually make it's the fruit of the cactus. Is actually very much edible, and the native tribes actually have used it for um, the seeds can be used for flour, and in Mexico, many of them can be used for appetizers, soups, entrees, breads, even candy and jelly can be made out of the prickly pear cactus. Um, it's unbelievable to say, but yeah, you can actually eat cactus. Fun fact. And then finally, for some of the activities, you can go to Zion National Park. Hey, King Cobra, good to see you. Welcome on in, my dude. We're just talking about Zion National Park here in beautiful southern Utah. So there's a lot of activities here at Zion. A lot of rangers can help visitors plan their stay. Some of the major activities include guided horseback riding trips, nature walks, evening programs. There's of course many trails all across the national park. For some, from half an hour to up to 4 hours in Zion Canyon. Two of the more popular trails are in the Kolob Canyon sections, Kolob Arch and Taylor Creek. And as a center, and this park is also a center for rock climbing as well. And of course, there's camping and lodging all across the park. So that is Zion National Park, one of the great national parks in the United States of America. But yeah, um, so, so we're looking at TripAdvisor. So I'm looking at TripAdvisor to see what kind of tours they got available. But they got some tours are from Las Vegas. Some of these tours come from Las Vegas. You can canyoneering tours, and much, much more. Yeah, there's a ton of things to do at Zion National Park. Um, of course, you can do four-wheel drive tours with UTVs and stuff for the park. But of course, you could do lots of hiking and stuff. It's absolutely yeah, it's absolutely that's absolutely gorgeous. We flew over Zion a while back on one of my streams. It was absolutely gorgeous. We were flying the double under through it. An absolutely gorgeous area, and I can't wait to visit this area here in this. Just incredible stuff for you guys here at Zion. That's what we're doing today on King Cobra. We're going to be visiting the 5 national parks of southern Utah: Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches National Parks. We'll be visiting all of them today on the tour. And besides, I had to do something with those 5 national parks. I know last Sunday was such a great flight, but I think this time around I think we might have somewhere even more stunning to fly over. So we'll be visiting St. George's, Utah. St. George, Utah, is where we're going to be visiting today for our first stop. This area here is located in St. George. It's going to be in Washington County, Utah. It lies in the northeasternmost part of the Mojave Desert. Population is 95,000 people as of 2020, with its metropolitan population of about 180,000. It's the fifth largest city in Utah and the most populous city in the state outside of the Wasatch Front. Settled in 1861 as a cotton mission, which actually gave it a unique nickname, Dixie. It's one of the fast-growing areas in the country and is well known for its year-round recreation and proximity to several state parks, Zion National Park, and the Grand Canyon. So definitely pretty cool stuff. There's definitely, in fact, St. George is also home to the regional airline SkyWest Airlines. Is headquartered here in the city, and it's got a lot of tourism stuff. And of course, our airport is St. George Regional Airport. Is its main airport. The St. George Airport was opened back in 2011 to replace the smaller St. George Municipal Airport. It's served by SkyWest Airlines with code-sharing flights operated on behalf of American, Delta, and United Airlines. And this, according to some destinations, include Phoenix, Sky Harbor, Dallas, Fort Worth, Salt Lake City, Denver, and Los Angeles are the destinations flying out of St. George. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. St. George Regional. So that is going to be our first stop of the day. So we'll get prepared to go talk about Bryce Canyon. After we stop here, we'll fly over Zion, check out the national park, and then we'll, after going through all this area, and don't worry, I'll go slowly through Zion National Park, so don't worry, we're gonna go a little slow over Zion. So we're gonna check out the park, around this area, and then make our way over through Bryce Canyon, then Capitol Reef, and all that. But I felt like this would be a really stunning trip. Let's take a look outside here of yeah, this area is just gorgeous scenery for today's flight is gorgeous. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to. So if you guys aren't aware, we will be heading back Sunday from Candylands Airport. We'll make our way up to Bozeman in Montana. We'll be taking, I think we're going to take, I believe we're going to be taking the, I'm going to take the FS Reborn Piper for that one. We're going to take the Piper FS Reborn and fly that route. We'll be taking that one for the trip. The FS Reborn 500. I think that would be an absolutely incredible trip to fly for sure. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, this week's going to be very scenic this week, which you guys are going to absolutely. So for leg number 2, we'll climb up, and I'm going to climb up to 10,500 feet. So we'll climb up to 10,500. That's because that's what's going to be needed for. We're going to climb to 10,000 feet, 10,500, as we go through Bryce Canyon and Capitol Reef. So we're going to be flying over all that. So. Here we are. I think that is St. George's Airport. Yeah, there's the airport right here. Ahead. So I wanted to ask you guys some important stuff. So according to TripAdvisor, some of the top things to do here at the park. The Narrows is number one. It's a challenging hike, but it's absolutely gorgeous through the Narrows. Angel's Landing. There's a scenic drive you could take to do a scenic drive. A canyon overlook trail to see the beautiful Kolob Canyons, the Zion Markowa Highway, a shuttle, Riverside Walk, Watchman Trail. Yeah, tons of really cool stuff in the national park. Get ready for Bryce Canyon soon. Because Bryce Canyon's also another amazing national park. Let's go ahead and make our first wing of the day here. Oops. Here we are, St. George Regional Airport. So this is a gorgeous little regional airport in a beautiful part of the country. Like, I think Utah is one of the most pretty states in the country. I think for a couple of reasons. Like, northern Utah, you got the Wasatch Front, you got Salt Lake City, the Great Salt Lake. And then you go further south, you have the absolute gorgeous 5 national parks to pick from, plus Glen Canyon, plus Monument Valley, too. Let's not forget Monument Valley as well. Gorgeous area, too. Beautiful one. -30 on landing rate monitor. That's oh, we'll just park right here for just a little bit. See if anyone else wants to join on in. Ah, King Cobra with us. Good to see you, my dude. You're going to be in a real treat today. All these beautiful national parks. So I'm just going to turn off the lamp light. What a beautiful area today. So we'll just stay right here for a bit. If anyone else, if you guys want to join on in for this flight, for the Southeast Asia server, we're actually so if you want to take a plane, it's recommend we're going to be at 160 knots. So anything between above 160 to 175 is going to be good enough for us. The Bonanza, Baron, maybe even the Comanche. That would be pretty good. Take DC3. Go for it. Take anything that can at least keep up. I'm not going to go too quickly, so it's going to be around 160, 165 knots. Oh yeah, they're also getting quite a bit of XP because this is a company route. Yeah, I'm very excited for the next like M20 Mooney. Good choice, the old Mooney, man. That's an old plane. That's been around since the Sim first came out. By the way, the old Mooney. And talk about an old school plane in the Sim. Um, go ahead and take her off, and we're gonna explore Zion National Park. Now, I'm not gonna go super fast out of this, okay? We're gonna take our time with Zion. Not any rush today. Go. We're going up. There's St. George's, Utah. St. George, Utah. Yeah, I'm currently doing some research for. I'm also doing research for that 2026 trip. So Utah would be one of the next states I'll be doing research with. After I get done with Nevada, I got research for Utah. I didn't do Utah. So, Zion National Park. So we're not gonna go too quickly for here. Man, this is gorgeous. So the mountain range you see in front of us, this is Signal Peak. Up here is Signal Peak. This is one of the tallest points in the Red Cliffs Conservation Area. But the scenery in this area is going to be gorgeous from here on out. It's going to be absolutely. But this, look at the scenery here, just jaw dropping. This never gets old. I wonder why our GA hub isn't somewhere around this area. I was thinking Page should be where the GA hub should have been, is Page. I mean, Page would have been close to the Grand Canyon. It would have been close to Zion. Page would have been the perfect GA hub. If Firefire ever did a GA hub, it should have been in Page. I mean, you're close to Glen. You're really close to all of the national parks in southern Utah. You're very close to tons of it. Here's Zion National Park. Oh, here's Zion National Park. Look at the scenery here today. It's gonna be absolute. Yeah, analog means digital. Absolutely, in time. Absolutely. So of course, we're gonna climb. Yeah, this scenery is just spectacular here, guys. Look at the state of all this around us. It's just amazing scenery. It never gets old. But yeah, about SkyWest Airlines, which is formed in St. George. It actually was founded back in 1972. Its fleet of 475 aircraft is done it. Mainly includes the Bombardier family of CRJs, from the small CRJ 200 to the larger CRJ 900. And of course, nowadays they're now using more of the Embraer E175. Um, but historically, they used to actually operate Embraer EMB-120s, Fairchild Metroliners, the CRJ 100, And apparently, in the earlier era, they used to fly the Cherokee planes, including the Cherokee Arrow, which is actually this plane. Yeah, little did they know they used to operate this plane right here. They used to use those for passenger services, unbelievably. I mean, how crazy is that? I'm going to lower the speed for a bit because we're flying over Zion. I want to go a little slower so we can take good photographs. Oh, what weather am I using? I'm using the clear skies. I'm using the clear, calm winds weather. I'm using the weather premium pack for that one. Oh yeah, the Comanche's nice. Comanche's super good. It's the best GA plane in the set. Here it goes, guys. Zion National Park. Cannot wait to see what this looks like in FS24. A Zion National Park. Now, of course, as much as I want to go jump straight into 24, I don't know. May want to stick to this sim for a bit longer. Wait until FS24 is in a more stable place than have it. Because I'm worried I won't be able to fly some of the planes I've been flying to right now for compatibility, so. This is Zion Canyon. What? Three. Nice and slower, so take more time, explore Zion National. Just look at this. Look at this. That's gorgeous, guys. Just breathtaking. This is Zion Canyon, by the way. All this is Zion Canyon. Just gorgeous areas. Tons of hiking trails and all that for the park. Just Zion. Can't wait to see what this looks like in 24, man, with the updated data. It's gonna look insane. Because I know one thing, as good as this looks in the sim, and it does look quite good, it does not do Zion National Park justice. Trust me, from some of the pictures you see online, people who actually took pictures at Zion National Park, just jaw drop. Is jaw dropping. going to go a little bit quicker. I'm going to pick up the speed a little bit. Just want to walk a little slower so we get some time looking at Zion. Absolutely gorgeous national park. Like I said, what's great about Microsoft Flight Sim is the fact that you get to see the national parks and all. That's one of my favorite things. So after we turn here, we're going to talk about Bryce Canyon. This will be our next national park we will be to visit to. Is Bryce Canyon. What an absolutely gorgeous. What an absolutely Zion National. So let's go ahead and talk about Bryce Canyon National Park. This is another very popular one a lot of people like to go to. But Bryce Canyon National Park is located in southwest Utah. Its main feature is Bryce Canyon, which, fun enough, is not actually a canyon, but rather a collection of giant natural amphitheaters along the eastern side of the Ponsagunut Plateau. It's distinctive due to its geological structures called hoodoos, which were formed by frost weathering and stream erosion of the river and lake bed sedimentary rock. And its red, orange, and white colors of the rocks provide spectacular views for park visitors. Even though it's much smaller than Zion, it's still very popular. Still quite a popular national park. In 2023, over 2.46 million people visited Bryce Canyon, which is still considerably smaller than both Zion at 4.3 million and Grand Canyon, which is around 6 million, due to its more remote location. That being said, Bryce Canyon is still an absolutely gorgeous national park. It shouldn't be forgotten at all. Shouldn't be forgotten about at all. In terms of its geography, it lies within the Colorado Plateau, province of North America, and straddles the southeastern edge of the Ponsagunut Plateau. Park visitors arrive from the plateau, look over the edge towards the valley containing the fault in the Paria River, and it was not formed by erosion from a central stream. Instead, headwind erosion excavated the amphitheater features of the Cenozoic age rocks. This erosion resulted in delicate and colorful pinnacles called hoodoos, which can actually go up to 200 feet high. The highest part of the park is Rainbow Point, at the end of this 18-mile scenic drive across the park. But yeah, just in these pictures, man, I mean, Bryce Canyon's just gorgeous. In terms of its geology, geology-wise, Bryce Canyon experienced soil disposition that spans across the Cretaceous period in the Cenozoic era. Dakota sandstone and tropical shale were deposited in the warm shallow waters of the advancing and retreating Cretaceous Seaway, which, yes, at some point, this part of the United States was actually underwater during the Cretaceous period. And the Clarion Formation were actually later deposited coal streams that existed from 63 to 40 million years ago. Sediment types changed as the lakes deepened and filled as the shoreline and river deltas merged. Other formations were created, however, they were eroded away. And eventually it was uplifted by several faults and stuff, created the uplift of the rocks that we know of today. And some of these include the Grand Staircase, which we can actually see when we fly past Canyon. Similar to Zion National Park, this is a very diverse area for both wildlife, and many of them are based on elevation. For example, the lower areas of Bryce Canyon are dominated by dwarf forests of pinyon pine, with juniper, manzanita, serviceberry, and antelope bitterbrush. Mid elevations are covered by ponderosa pine trees, with Bruce spruce and Douglas fir in water-rich areas. And the higher areas have limber pine and ancient Great Basin bristlecone. Some of those trees are more than 1,600 years old. The oldest specimen is has been aged 4,800 years old. 4,800 years. This means this thing was around long before the Roman Empire. Um, which is pretty old. But yeah, these bristlecone pines, like the reason for why they live for so long and why they live for so long is um, because of their unique ecology. They don't use a lot of water to do their trees. And finally, for Bryce Canyon as well, there's all sorts of animals living here: foxes, badgers, porcupines, elks, black bears, bobcats, and mule deer are some of the most common, along with elk and pronghorn as well. Live in the Bryce Canyon. Other endangered animals include the Utah prairie dog and the California condor. There's also over about 170 species of birds visit the park, mainly swifts and swallows, but others include jays, ravens, nuthatches, eagles, owls live around this area. You can also find 11 species of reptile, most notably the Great Basin rattlesnake, the shorthorn lizard, and the striped white whipsnake. Some of the most well-known animals that live here in Bryce Canyon. And finally, for activities, there's all sorts of ones. Most visitors do the scenic drive, which provides the 13 viewpoints over the amphitheaters. But there's also 50 miles of trails. Some are pretty easy, like Mossy Cave, which is about an hour, or Bristlecone Loop. Two more strenuous hikes that take about 3 or 4 hours. It's also a great area. You can actually see Navajo Mountain and Kaibab Plateau on clear days. And it's actually one of the darkest skies in North America. So stargazers often come visit here too. So it's very popular for astronomy and all that. So that is some of the activities here at Bryce Canyon National Park. So but the waypoints, I actually set up the waypoints so we can see the amphitheaters, which is the main highlight of Bryce Canyon National Park. We have some absolutely gorgeous lines today. Of course, according to TripAdvisor, some of the most popular things include Inspiration Point, Navajo Garden Loop, Sunset Point, Sunrise Point, Scenic Drive, Navajo Trail, the Bryce Amphitheater, Kibu Loop. And some of the tours you can do, of course, the scenic tour of driving and all that. Oh, nice, the T-33 is out. Yep, that's right. Typhon. Yeah, thank you. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that in the sim. I think Murph was fun on Wednesday. He was showing it off. He really liked it. So after this, after we do a little bit of a trip through Bryce, I'm gonna fly a little slower. Once we get near here, I'm gonna fly a little slower so we can take a closer look at the Bryce Canyon, and then we'll speed back up to Capitol Reef. We'll go a little slower from here, and then head our way over to Tehran Airport. But that way we can explore more of the national parks. Absolutely gorgeous today. I mean, the scenery has been outstanding. And this series just gorgeous. Hey, Philip, good to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. We started from Las Vegas earlier. We made our first stop at St. George earlier. Um, and we're now heading. We did a flyover of Zion National Park, which if you never got the chance to fly over Zion, it's a really cool national park. And we're now heading to Bryce Canyon. We're going to be touring the Big Five national parks of southern Utah: Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches. Yeah, we're going to be touring multiple national parks today for this around the world trip. Because obviously, if it's one thing the United States is going to be, it's going to be the national parks. And we'll do even more of the national park stuff on Sunday. We'll be visiting Grand Teton and Yellowstone. So we're going to take the FS Reborn for that one. here it is, Bryce Canyon. Yeah, I hope you're having a good start to your weekend too. So, for Firefly Air, we got some pretty cool stuff coming with the airline. So far, I think we got about 1.8 million XP. So our airline's going to do quite well. So that's what we're going to be doing. I hope we're going to get Southeast Asia next, please. That's the one region in the world that could definitely use a hub. Like, we got a lot of North America hubs. We definitely need another one. We only got 4 technically with Hong Kong, but we don't really do tons of stuff out of that Hong Kong. Oh, nice! You probably got a nice long stretch of the weekend. Good. That's great news, my dude. So this here is Bryce Canyon. Which is not really a canyon. It's actually, a lot of this is the hoodoos and stuff. There's Bryce Canyon down there. I know the photogrammetry isn't too good. I think Jefferson's worked on a Bryce Canyon seer. I think he's worked on that before. Got Bryce Canyon National Park. Not nearly as visited as Zion in Grand Canyon, but so now we're going to talk a little bit about Capitol Reef. A national park a lot of people actually forget about. I know that of the big 5 Utah national parks, this one is actually one of the more forgotten national parks. I believe this is one of the least visited national parks in that. It's actually more visited than Canyonlands was. Um, but Capitol Reef still gets a little overlooked sometimes. This national park is around 60 miles long, north to south. Established in 1971 to preserve over 241,000 acres of desert landscape, open all year. It was originally Wayne Wonderland by local boosters. However, it became a national monument in 1937, and it didn't take until 1971 for it to be a national park. This park's most well known for its colorful canyons, bridges, buttes, and monoliths. The majority of the 100-mile long thrust up is called the Water Pocket Fold, a rocky spine sitting from the Thousand Lake Mountains at Lake Powell, is preserved in the park, and it's a especially rugged and spectacular part of the park. And it's named for its whitish Navajo sandstone cliffs, similar to that of Capitol buildings, why it got its nickname. That's what gave Capitol Reef its unique nickname. Also, I'm definitely going to climb up to 11,500. We're going to go ahead and turn on. We're going to climb all the way up to 11,500 feet from here. We have to climb up the extra 1,000 feet just to clear this upcoming mountain. Descend to 10,000 feet if we want. I guess we can go 9,500 feet for the rest of the leg. Yeah, we can go 9,000 feet for the rest of the leg. We'll go back to 9,000 feet. We're just gonna clear over this for a bit, then we'll go down to 9,000 feet. The rest of the leg. Yeah, Capitol Reef is definitely pretty forgotten about. Like even Canyonlands, it's talked. Even if it's less visited, Canyonlands is definitely more talked. But one of the unique things about Capitol Reef is its geography. You see, it encompasses the water pocket fold, a wrapped in the Earth's crust that's about 65 million years old, and it's the largest exposed monocline in North America. And a monocline basically is a steep step-like fold in rock strata. In this fold, newer and older layers of Earth folded each other in an S shape, caused by the colliding continental plates that created the Rocky Mountains of today. Has been weathered and eroded over millennia to expose rock and fossils. The park is mainly filled with brilliantly colored sandstone cliffs, gleaming white domes, and contrasting layers of stone and earth. The the fold actually also forms a barrier that's been barely breached by roads. Early settlers referred to them as reefs, which actually is what got them to the second part of its nickname, Capitol Reef. The first paved route constructed was State Route 24, cut in the park east and west between Canyonlands and Bryce Canyon, and it's filled with canyons, domes, towers, and arches. The area Native Americans have settled here originally by the Fremont culture. However, the first Europeans to visit this area was in 1872 by Almond H. Thompson, when he was attached to John Wesley Powell's expedition across the area. But of course, Mormons were among the first to settle in the valley. But this thing didn't get star protection until the 1930s and such, and it became a national park until 1971. Now, of course, one of the cool things about Capitol Reef is its geology. This area here in the park was once the edge of a shallow sea that invaded the land during the Permian, creating the Cutler Formation. Only the sandstone of the youngest member is exposed in the park. The deepening sea also left carbonate deposits forming the limestone of the Kaibab limestone, which is actually also the same one as the Grand Canyon. During the Triassic, streams deposited reddish brown silt that later became the siltstone. Uplift and erosion followed, along with conglomerate, with blocks, sand, mud, and more. And there's all sorts of different groups. There's the Glen Canyon group, which is more in the southern area, featuring Wingate sandstone and Navajo sandstone, while the San Rafael includes materials like gypsum, sand, silt, sandstone, and conglomerate. Read some of the unique areas of Capitol Reef's unique geology. Pretty cool stuff about the geology of this beautiful national. Off altitude hold. A little bit. Yeah, really cool geology. And I hope you guys are enjoying this because it's some interesting stuff about each of these national parks. So there's a variety of activities here in the national park for to visit, including both ranger-led and self-guided, like auto touring, hiking, backpacking, camping, bicycling, horseback riding, canyoneering, rock climbing. For hiking and backpacking, some of the most popular trails include the Cassie Arch Trail, which is about a very steep, strenuous 3.5 mile round trip. Hickman Bridge, a 2 mile round trip leading to a natural bridge. And the long Hall Creek's Narrow trip, which is very popular for camping. It'll take about a couple days through it. Auditorium is also popular, mainly a scenic drive through the middle of the park. And in growing popularity has been canyoneering, which takes one through the slot canyons, involving rappelling, and may require swimming and stuff as well for canyoneering. And the most popular routes is Castle Arch Canyon, which you can definitely do a lot of here. So that is Capitol Reef National Park. So, so here you are, guys. Here you are, guys. 9,000 feet. Like, got a little lower for this one. Oh, let's see who's flying with us today. I think King Cobra was here a little earlier. Oh yeah, King Cobra was here earlier on with us. We have Spirit, B2 Spirit, Voiceful Apple. Sorry about that, I didn't turn on the signs, but here we are, guys. I mean, the scenery here today is just absolutely marvelous. However, after Capitol Reef would be probably my favorite of the Utah national parks actually to fly over in the sim at least. Canyonlands, absolutely insane park. Gonna be my favorite. So this is Escalante. This is part of the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. But yeah, after this, after we hit our next waypoint at about 20 or so miles, we'll turn left for the national park up and down. So we'll explore about 14.5 nautical miles down. We'll take some time exploring the natural area of the park. But yeah, exploring Capitol Reef is going to be very cool. But there have been some absolutely insane parks. But yeah, Utah has so many great areas. That's why Utah, in my opinion, is one of the prettiest states in the country, and rightfully so. Capitol Reef, one of the most underrated national parks. I mean, yeah, I can't wait to do anything as well. So, let's go ahead and next. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this trip. If you guys haven't, if you guys are enjoying this and haven't smashed the follow button, if you're enjoying this, definitely consider smashing that follow button and support the channel. So yeah, we're gonna see Capitol Reef pretty shortly. Again, we're gonna slow down a little bit here and slow down so we can take a closer, take more scene time for the national park. Yeah, so after we went through Capitol Reef, we'll make our second stop at Barron Airport, Kilo Foxtrot Echo Echo. We're actually stopping here for. So, I wanted to ask you guys, what's your favorite part about this trip so far? I definitely enjoyed Zion and Bryce Canyon so far. I'm really curious to see what Capitol Reef's going to be like. This will be my first time flying over Capitol Reef. Last time I went through Page to Candylands and Arches. be my first time checking out Capitol Reef. So this should be interesting to see how things are going to go here in Capitol Reef. Yeah, there's a couple of mountain ranges in front of us. There's Mount Pennell, the Horn, South Summit Ridge, Mount Ellen. All that's going through all this area. Yeah, we should make the trip turn to Capitol Reef pretty short. So, yeah, very. Here's Capitol Reef finally. Left. Oh, look at that. Capitol Reef. What a cool area. I'm really enjoying this flight. I really am. This is just such a nice flight. After this, after we go Capitol Reef, we stop at Farron and prepare for one last leg into Canyonland and Arches National. Gorgeous. Look at is just gorgeous. Look at the Capital Reef. Absolutely stunning here. Yes, Southern Utah is absolutely. Just incredible. Look at this right here. Just incredible. Look at this. Nuts. Crazy Capital Reef. Not expecting this at all. Alright, guys. We're going to go ahead and turn right 5 degrees. Alright, guys. We're going to move on to our second stop of the day, Barron Airport. Yeah, look at Capitol Reef. That is just gorgeous. Gorgeous area, man. So our stop is going to be Kilo Foxtrot Echo Echo, Barron Airport. We're going to land runway 01. We'll actually land here, make our second stop of the day. Guys, what do you think about the scenery here today, everyone? The natural scenery of this area. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if this is more scenic than Sunday's flight. I think in some ways it is. But I mean, we're not flying to meet, but it's gorgeous. Yeah, very nice scenery. It's just, yeah, that's why I think Southern Utah is one of the most scenic areas in the country. I don't know why for our virtual area, why our GA hubs in Kern. It should have obviously been around Page. That would have been the perfect site for our GA hub. Page, because if Page would have been the GA hub, we would have flown to Monument Valley, Grand Stair. I mean, we would have, all 5 of the Utah National Parks would have been within reach of the hub and Page. Plus Grand Canyon, plus potentially Flagstaff too. Whoa. Look at the scenery here. This is at Caneville. Whoa, that's crazy. Look, oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm gonna run out of pictures. That's gorgeous. Absolutely. Hmm. Hmm. So, we'll talk a little bit about, before we get to our airport, I want to talk a little bit about Canyonlands National Park. It's going to be my favorite national park to fly in the sim. Canyonland. So Canyonlands National Park is located in southeastern Utah near Moab. This park preserves a colorful landscape of numerous canyons, mesas, and buttes by the Colorado River and the Green River. It became a national park in 1964. There are 4 districts: Island of the Sky, the Needles, the Maze, and the Combined Rivers. And these areas have a primitive desert atmosphere, and one particular visitor described park as the most weird, wonderful, magical place on Earth. And it is definitely my favorite of the national parks to fly in the city. We'll talk more once we get landing. I think the airport's going to be here very shortly. But Canyonlands is an absolutely gorgeous national park. It might just be my favorite national park to fly in. I think it's my favorite. Yeah, really very excited. So we'll be arriving in our second stop very soon. But I'm very much looking forward to this weekend. Do some more flights. I want to see what kind of VA flights. Turn off, and we're going to descend down. Here we go, guys. Second land. Barron Airport. Here it is, guys. Negative 171 for land rate monitor. Another rather smooth landing. There you go. Barron Airport. Oh, that's our second airport completed today of this journey. We still got one last airport left to here just for a brief second now. Anyone else wants to join on in? We still got one last leg left to go for this flight plan. And that is to Canyonlands Airport, just outside of Moab. Just put the info for you guys here, just in case anyone else wants to join on in. So let's go ahead and get prepared for the final leg of the trip. Go ahead and get ready for the last leg of the trip. So we're going to go ahead and prepare for the flight to Canyonlands National Park and Arches. So for the last leg, our last leg, we're going to be, the altitude is going to be 8,000 feet. I guess we could do 7,500 would be where we need to go, is 7,500. Let's go 7,500 feet for this, which is going to be, and that is going to be Canyonlands National Park. Let's go ahead, start with takeoff. Woohoo! Yeah, last leg. Very excited to get this last leg going. Yeah, most of this around the world trip will be general aviation, because like I said, GA is still, I mean, that's still what my channel is founded by. I don't want to be a full-time airliner guy. Head this. But yeah, I do like flying the Just Flight Arrows. They're still really nice to fly. Last leg. So let's talk a bit more about Canyonlands National Park. So Canyonlands is very popular. One of the big things about Canyonlands is the recreational side of things. Um, since 2007, more than 400,000 people visit the park. Record was in 2016 with 777,000 people. There's all sorts of different things you can do recreationally. Good hiking, mountain biking, backpackers, and four-wheelers enjoy going through the rugged, remote terrains of the park. The White Rim Road and White Sandstone are some very popular areas of the park. Also, you can find rafting and kayaking through the Green and Colorado rivers, as well as the Cataract Canyons providing those of whitewater rafting. Again, important for whitewater rafting, and that creates plenty of things to do. Canyonlands has got plenty of things to do. But yeah, Canyonlands is an absolute gorgeous area. If you ever seen any pictures of it, it is unbelievably. And there's all sorts of tours you can do here. There's all sorts of ways to do tours of the national park. 4x4s, and more. Very popular. Geography-wise, is also one of the really cool things about Canyonlands has been its geography. If it's one thing Canyonlands National Park is definitely most well known for, actually, we're gonna go 7,000 feet. Yeah, let's go 7,000 feet. So Canyonlands has got a very diverse geography. You see, a lot of these canyons were formed by the Colorado and Green River, divided into 3 different districts: the Island of the Sky, the Needles, and the Maze. So the Island of the Sky section is a broad level mesa in the northern part of the park, between the Colorado and Green Rivers, and there are many viewpoints overlooking the White Rim, including Sandstone Bench and a couple more rivers. The Needles district is south of it, on the east side of the Colorado River, known for its red and white banded rock pinnacles. Various other naturally scaled rock formations also within it include gravens, potholes, and arches. However, unlike Arches National Parks, which are accessible through short hikes, most of the arches here require long hikes or four-wheel drives to reach them. Finally, the Maze District is west and is the least accessible part of the park. And it's one of the most remote areas in the United States. Tons of really unique stuff for it. Also, Canyonlands is also home to a wide range of different animals and plants. In terms of fauna, animals that go around the park include black bears, coyotes, skunks, bats, elks, foxes, bobcats, badgers, pronghorn, and cougars. Most commonly seen by visitors are the mule deer. There's also 273 bird species inhabiting the park, including a variety of hawks and eagles, like the golden and bald eagles live here, owl species like the great horned owl, woodpeckers, ravens, herons, and more to be found here at the park. Also, reptile species, most notably the prairie rattlesnake and the common king snake, as well as the midget-faced rattlesnake species. And there's even some amphibian species, most notably the American bullfrog, the tiger salamander. In terms of plant lovers, there's 11 different cactus species, as well as 20 different moss species, liverworts, grasses, and wildflowers, as well as trees including the juniper. So, pretty cool stuff. And of course, no talk about Canyonlands will ever be complete without mentioning its geology. Because Canyonlands National Park is insanely diverse geologically between all the different canyons, deposits of rock, more. So, is Canyonlands National Park. One of my absolute favorites. A place I would love to go. But outside Canyonlands, we still got Moab to cover. So get near the national park. We're actually going to go a little slower around when we get to Canyonlands because I think, yeah, this is one of my favorite national parks. Look at the terrain. Also, we're also going to cover Arches National Park too. Might as well in this leg. So Arches is the last of the 5 national parks we'll be visiting today. It's located in eastern Utah, just north of Moab, containing more than 2,000 natural sandstone arch, including the Delicate Arch, which constitutes the highest density of natural arches in the world, as well as a variety of geological resource formations. The national park lies above an underground layer of salt bed, which is the main cause of why those arches even form in the first place. It consists of about 310 square kilometers of high desert located in the Colorado Plateau. The highest elevation is Elephant Butte. This national park was formed in 1971 and received 1.8 million visitors in 2021. And now it's definitely a really cool national park. The geology of this national park, it lies on above an underground layer of salt bed. And although the park may appear rugged and durable, believe it or not, you'll be surprised, this national park's actually quite delicate. And the reason is the soil crust is very thin, mainly composed of cyanobacteria, algae, fungi, and lichens. And as a result, it's actually not very delicate as a result. So yeah, turns out it's a very delicate area. For sure. So a lot of the formations were formed about 300 million years ago, but mainly it's with gravity and all that created the natural arches. Of course, there's a lot of recreational activity. However, you're not allowed to climb any of the arches, or the balanced rock is banned, so you can't do rock climbing for it. But it's very much and other features of the park are highly regulated. However, those that are approved include auto touring, hiking, bicycling, camping at the Devil's Garden campground, backpacking, canyoneering, and rock climbing, with permits required for the last 3 activities, as well as guided commercial tours are available. And of course, there's also a wide range of plant and animal species too that live here, most notably the kangaroo rats. There's a lot of features of this park. Balanced rock is one of the most popular features. The Delicate Arch, the most recognized arch in the park, as well as Devil's Garden, Double Arch, Fiery Furnace, in so So definitely that is Arches National. Scenery here is gorgeous. So we're just 63 nautical miles from our final destination at Candylands Airport. So very exciting, guys. And I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do. Arches. Of course, you gotta be careful. But you could do 4x4 adventures, 4x4 stuff. That's a very popular one for a lot of people. Oh, here. Wow, look at there's the confluence of the two rivers, the Colorado and the Green River. There's the confluence. Candyland. crazy. Canyonland. Just gorgeous. Just impressive. Yeah, Canyonlands is just gorgeous. Boots, canyons, much. Oh, nice. Yeah, the SR-22. Good choice. I almost did consider taking the SR-22, but I decided I'll save the SR-22 for some other time. Just what a breathtaking area. That's just stunning. Imagine this is an idea for bush trips and all that. So we'll be flying into Moab. So we're going to be flying over to Moab, Utah, today. So Moab is located in eastern Utah. It's the largest city of Grant County, population of 5,000 people. However, there are a lot more tourists due to Canyonlands and Arches National Parks. It's a popular base for mountain bikers, well as for the annual Jeep Safari. It was actually settled back in 1878. It was actually named after Moab, which was located in the area east of the Jordan River. And it may be because as well. This area is well known for being one of the filming locations for the movie Wagon Master, and around this area Stagecoach. And Moab actually became and over the years it had seen many movies filmed here too over the years. This area used to be based on agriculture, but then it became mining with originally uranium and vanadium during the 1910s and 20s. However, later on it was potash and manganese next, and then oil and gas. At one point, it became the uranium capital of the world. Um, Now more nowadays, it's been mainly known for tourism. But there are quite a few films featured here. More recent films include 2012 movie John Carter, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusades was filmed, has shots in Moab, and more. And then finally, we'll be going to Canyonlands Regional Airport, which will be our final stop. This airport is located just outside, 21 miles northwest of Moab. Opened back in 1964. Its current runway is around 7,300 feet. Historically had airline service with the original Frontier Airlines. However, other carriers used to fly here originally flew into DC-3s. Later on, Convair 580 turboprops. They used to do the Beechcraft Queen Air, but they used to do between Piper Navajos in the old past, while others did BA Jetstreams flew around this airport. And then more modern days has been DC-12s, CRJs, Beechcraft 1900D. And nowadays, it flies to Phoenix and Salt Lake City are the main airports this thing connects to. But yeah, beautiful Moab. Absolute cool town. I hope that I get to visit Southern Utah at some point. Get to visit Moab. I would love to visit. But yeah, very very excited. Oh, really? You lost your controls? That sucks. No worries, my dude. I'm not going super fast. I hope I'm not going too fast. Yeah, this is Canyonlands National Park. Absolutely gorgeous national. This, like I said, it's my favorite of all the ones to fly. Even more than the Grand Canyon. So we still have one last national park to visit, and that is Arches. So we'll be taking a look. Still have Arches left to go. So here is the town of Moab. For left is Moab, Utah. On that. Um, 337. Yeah, Moab's a pretty. Now we're gonna finally visit Arches. Well, hopefully we'll find Delicate Arch. That's actually in the sim. This is some of the most scenic area in the country. This never gets old. Finding this part of Utah through all those national parks never ever gets old. It really doesn't. This is double arch and all of that. That's all in front of us. Of course, there's Balance Rock ahead of us. If you look down over here, there is Balance Rock. There's Balance Rock. Of course, we're going to be here visiting the Delicate Arch. So there will be a screenshot opportunity for Delicate Arch. So what a gorgeous national. Some of the most scenic line in never ever gets. There's Delicate Arch right. Alright, guys. We're going to visit the last part of Arches National Park, and then we'll turn into Lands Airport. And that's where we're going to stop instead of for the next trip. Coming up in Sunday. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. This was an absolute blast of a Yeah, you can see all the different arches across this area. Thank you so much, King Cobra, for saying that. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and prepare for the landing here at our airport. Candy Lanes Regional. Up the stream. Guys, here we are, the final lane of the day. Really smooth landing. Back. Taxi back to the parking. What a beautiful way to wrap up this. Absolutely gorgeous. That was a lot of fun. Guys, this is it, everyone. Welcome to Candyland's Regional Airport. So, guys, I hope you had a great time in this stream. This was a blast of a flight plan, if I say so myself. We got to explore the big 5 Southern Utah National Parks. So, that is what we're doing here today. Thank you guys so much for joining along. We're going to go ahead and set up the raid. I hope you're all having a great day, and see you all soon. Take care, everyone, and see you on Sunday. Goodbye, everyone.